Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. We're going to continue looking at Erasmus and the Textus Receptus, and maybe go into some other things about the Textus Receptus. You hear this term thrown around. Is it the same as a Byzantine text? Is it the same as the majority text? What are the differences between the Textus Receptus and any of the aforementioned texts, the Caesarean text, the Western text, the Alexandrian text, the critical text, the Nestle-Aland text, the Tischendorfian text, Sinaiticus Vaticanus, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. We're on Textus-Receptus.com. Textus-Receptus.com. Great little website. Love it. I think it's done by Nick Sayers, who did the KJV 223 New Testament, which we've got some reviews here on the channel for that. Hope to do some comparisons of that in the future with the KJV. But a big Textus Receptus defender and King James defender. So in 1512, it says here, Erasmus had been in negotiation with Badius Ascensius of Paris to publish the Vulgate of Jerome and a new edition of the Adasia. So some things that need to be addressed there. Who is Badius Ascensius? He was a medieval bookmaker, pedagogue, just really big in the publishing industry. I think I read that 775 of his works had that primatur put on them. And this was, so he's a big publisher is basically what he was. Also a proofreader and grammarian back in the day. And the Vulgate of Jerome, this would have been the basic Catholic Bible from 400 AD-ish on forward, even though Jerome was very upset because he's like, the second I translated a page from Hebrew into Latin, they took it from me. I didn't have a chance to go back from it. And it also had the monarchian prologues in the introduction to the Gospels, which was probably written by Priscillian, who was a oneness. And really, he and 5 of his fellow bishops from Spain first to be killed there in Trier, the third city in the European Empire, for being oneness. And so in the Adasia was like a book of wisdom, quotes, like a quote book. And Erasmus, being very brilliant, quite possibly oneness, just tremendous. And I hope to do a video just on his Adasia, because a lot of things we say today came from Erasmus, or at least he collated it together, collected it together. It did not happen, this him trying to get an edition of the Vulgate, and Erasmus did not continue contacts with Badius. While many critics of Erasmus and the Textus Receptus claim that Erasmus used only a small handful of manuscripts, this is not a correct hypothesis, because the libraries and scriptorians throughout Europe would not simply give away manuscripts. Therefore, Erasmus traveled vastly to examine many manuscripts and wrote down variants. And it said in one place he had like a mule to do nothing but carry manuscripts. I think he had 300 or something. But not just that. I mean, when 99% of the manuscripts all agree together, and he's looking in all the greatest libraries of Europe, because everybody was trying to pay. I've read biographies of Erasmus and his own writings. I've collected his letters, and lady up at the University of Toronto is very big in Erasmus and all this. But that, he knew the textual variants that we have today. He also did paraphrase, like a Targum of the New Testament. It's very instructive as well. But he also said a lot of people were writing things in his name that were not true. So he knew the variants. He thus had no need to personally acquire the manuscripts or have them on hand when he penned the Novum Instrumentum Omni. Erasmus updated his 1516 Textus Receptus in 1519, and again in 1522, 1527, and his final edition, 1535. 1522 edition is very famous for including 1 John 5:7, the comma, Johannium. Stephanus and the myth, as it's now seen that it is a myth, even Metzger says this, and the leading Erasmian scholar, C.H. de Jong, I think is their name, from the University of Toronto, says it's a myth that he said, find me one manuscript, and they came up with a manuscript, maybe written a manuscript. All that's mythological. Stephanus, also known as Robert Etienne, done a review of an actual page of one of these books. Also, that I was fortunate enough to get. Also edited the Textus Receptus in 1546, 1549, the 1550 Editio Regia, and the 1551. Now, a lot of people think that maybe his fourth edition of 1551 was the basis for the King James. A lot of people don't believe that now, but it's been speculated for many decades. Theodore Bezet, Calvin's assistant, edited the Textus Receptus 9 times between 1565 and 1604. I've heard he actually had 10 editions. The Authorized Version translators uses 1598 of Beza, a disciple of John Calvin, who both had access to Waldensian versions and manuscripts. Also, Calvin didn't he do a translation? I know Diodate did as well. So this family of texts is also known as the Antiochian text, the Byzantine text, the Syrian text, the Greek Vulgate, and until the 1980s, the majority text, and you'll still hear it called the majority text to this day. A man by the name of Colonaeus did one as well. So there was a lot. And the thing is again, 1453, this is the pivotal date, Ottoman Empire conquers Byzantium, Constantinople, the Textus Receptus, which is the basis, 99% of all Greek manuscripts, minuscule manuscripts, comes flooding westward. And so they had access to a lot more manuscripts then. So we're going to keep going on this history of the Textus Receptus in another video. So this is Textus-Receptus.com. God bless you. Thanks for being here. Join us daily. Share with your friends, family, and church family. See you later. Bye-bye.